Should UI and UX designers know how to code? If I don't understand information architecture, can I still be a UX designer? Do I need to know how to draw to be a product designer? How do I even start learning UI and UX design? What I've come to learn being a product designer and teaching over the past decade is that we're confused. We're all really confused. Hey everyone, I'm Elizabeth from DesignerUp, helping you level up your product design skills. No one really knows what a UI or UX product designer is supposed to do, what they actually do, what the difference is between a UX designer and a product designer. But by the end of this video, I think you'll be a lot less confused and have a better idea of what's actually involved in having a career in this industry as a designer.
So what exactly is product design? One of the main methods that UI and UX designers and product designers employ is called design thinking. We see a potential problem that a person or a group of people are having, and we decide that we want to find a way to create a tool to help them solve it or to help them make a transformation. So we start imagining what their world is like and what it's like to be them and experience their problem firsthand. Then we can start to define some things about them and their problem. We also can start thinking about the business goals and what it's trying to achieve. Then we can come up with ideas and features and possible solutions in the ideation phase. We can build a small part of our digital idea or a scaled down version of it, and then test it with our group of users. The information we gather from our tests helps us to start the process over again with new features or fixing current ones, and so we go iterating down the product roadmap. Some designers think that UI UX design is just about graphics and research. Some think it involves coding, others think that you have to know how to draw or know math equations to do user analysis. There's a lot of confusion and differing opinions about this. At its core, digital product design is about understanding components and states, and how we determine and decide what those are, what they should look like, how they should be organized, and how they should behave. Should we use a toggle or a radio box? What color should it be? What should it do when it's clicked? Should it ease in or pop out of visibility? What are the usability heuristics that drive these decisions? It's all about states of mind of the user, states of interaction, states of information exchanged by the system, and the visual components that represent these states on an interactive digital platform. What confuses people the most is when they start focusing on generalized questions. Things like, should a product designer know how to code? Does a UI designer need to understand animation? Because what you'll find is that if you ask 10 different UX designers to define their role, you'll get 10 different answers. If you look up 10 different UX job descriptions, you'll get 10 different requirements. So why is this? Well, the way to understand this is to start thinking about digital product as a whole. And for that, you need to understand it in three main ways. Product as layer, meaning which side of the product you're working on. Product stage, is it in the early, mid, or late stage of development? And 3, organization, the size, structure, and goals of the company. So let's take a zoomed out look at product design as a whole. Jesse James Garret, the founder of Adaptive Path, has a great model for explaining product design and user experience design. Here you'll see that a product has 5 main layers. At each of these layers, there are different disciplines that are needed in order to successfully execute it. Like a multi-story building, if any one layer is weak, the whole building will be unstable. The product can also be viewed from and dissected into 2 sides. On one side, product is functionality, and on the other, product is information. You can see how a UX designer working on the scope layer of a product might be working on the functional side dealing with interaction design, while another UX designer might be dealing with information architecture on the other side. This could also be one designer oscillating between both sides of the product. Some days you may be working on the surface layer, interviewing users, and after getting feedback, you have to jump all the way back down to the strategy level to change site objectives and work your way back up. You may be working on a product that relies heavily on information architecture, and so that company might want UI UX designers that understand code. But all of these requirements fluctuate, from conception all the way up through the layers of completion. This is why there will always be so many different answers to these questions, because it depends on the needs of the layer on the side of the product you're working on. Another thing that must be considered is the product over time. Early stage is just forming the idea. They're learning about their potential users' problems and starting the design process from scratch. A mid-stage company might be working on a product more deeply and adding in new features. Mid-stage companies may be analyzing existing user data, making changes, fixing bugs, scaling, and growing. Each one of these stages has their own unique problems to overcome and goals to achieve. And that's why they may need a different type of designer or a designer with a different skill set at any given point. Finally, there is the organization's structure and size. Every company is a different size, every company is at a different stage of development of their product, and every company has different business goals. All three of these things, product layer, stage, and organization, blend together to create unique requirements and skill sets for job positions. That's also why there's so much opportunity for UI and UX designers to find work and to be able to work on what they want. This is why it's so important to be very specific about who you want to work for and what you'd like to work on. This is also the secret to differentiating yourself from other UX designers in the field and to position yourself in the best light for employers to understand that you are exactly the right type of UI UX designer for their job. This type of positioning and portfolio building is exactly what we focus on in the DesignerUp Master Course, so if you're interested, don't forget to check the link in the description. Up until this point, I've been using UI and UX designers synonymously with product designers, but in my personal experience, there are some key differences. The four biggest things that separate UI and UX designers from product designers are the following: scope of work, skill stack, level of accountability, and level of authority. For a UX designer, you may be starting at the junior level and working your way up. At any given point in your career, these things will vary. As a product designer, these are often the high-level senior roles that require a high degree of all of these. As a UI UX designer, you'll most likely be working on a team with other design specialists. You'll need to take direction well, to manage your time, prioritize assigned tasks, and collaborate with your team effectively. As a product designer, you might be leading a team and need to be able to give direction well. You need to manage the small tasks while keeping the big picture in mind. You have to be able to delegate and to defend your design decisions. You are the one responsible for making all of the pieces fit together and run smoothly at a granular level while maintaining the overarching experience of the brand and the entire vision of the product. Some of you might be looking for a program of study right now to help you learn all of these skills, but many times, students are so focused on comparing curriculums or looking for job guarantees and certifications that they forget to ask the most important questions. Will you be able to successfully learn these skills and complete the program? Will you be uniquely positioned to find the job that you want when it's over? Most of the UI UX boot camps out there have a very similar curriculum as of right now. What really matters is choosing a program that matches your learning style and shows you how to position yourself to land a job that suits you and your vision for your life as a designer. So when looking for a course, ask yourself the following: What is your learning style? Are you a visual learner, kinesthetic, a textual learner, an auditory learner? Visual learners learn better when things are presented in video form, or perhaps graphically as data visualization or animations and drawings. DesignerUp lessons are all HD video lessons for this reason. It helps students stimulate the visual learning aspect. Kinesthetic learners excel in tactile environments, in in-person learning environments where you're physically engaged in the activity of doing something. DesignerUp, for instance, is not an in-person program. So if you're looking for that, you might want to consider a physical boot camp. Our master course offers interactive quizzes and one-on-one conversations with your mentor and other students to stimulate this process online. Textual learners, you do best with reading comprehension, when things are provided in the form of articles, books, white papers, etc. All of our lessons at DesignerUp come in written form as well. We provide deep dive readings for those that want to specialize in a certain area, so you can consume the lessons in either way that you choose. Auditory learners, maybe you like to hear things being explained to you, or perhaps it makes more sense out of convenience because you spend a lot of time commuting. Our HD lessons can be accessed offline via your mobile phone, so you can use them as audio lessons. Next, what is the content of the program? Does the course intentionally structure the content in a way that utilizes different learning styles? Is it designed to help you absorb, retain, and retrieve the content that works best for you? Or does it curate content from around the web? Some find the latter disjointed and hard to follow, while others find that it's enough for them to grasp the concepts. DesignerUp is all original content and also links to deeper dives of industry specialists. We cover everything from product design, UI UX, information architecture, interaction design, product strategy, marketing, and business. Pacing is important when you're learning new things. So what is the pace of the program? Do you need something that fits into your busy routine and schedule? Then look for something self-paced. But be careful because many courses that say they're self-paced may have a mentorship component that requires you to finish lessons or modules before your weekly scheduled meetings, which sometimes overrides a lot of the flexibility. So if you can't make a call at a designated time or haven't finished your assignments, you may lose out on some of the benefit of the provided mentorship. Is there quality guidance? Are you getting mentored by someone that simply wants to pass on everything they know? Or are you getting mentorship from someone that is focused on you and what it is you need to learn? There's a difference between learning how to create a portfolio and learning how to create your portfolio. Every one of us comes from a different background and has a different perspective. And when you're starting out and you don't have a ton of UI or UX design related experience, it's important that they show you how you can leverage and frame the skills you already have. Are there resources outside of just the course content? Does the program take into consideration the non-negotiables of designers, such as the cost of design software, fonts, icons, research and planning apps? If not, then it's not a truly holistic approach to preparing you with everything you need. This is why DesignerUp has partnered with some of the best design apps in the world like Sketch and InVision to give you discounts to everything you need. Are you working on something real? Are you taking an idea from inspiration through to an actual product? Or are you just working on random design challenges and parts of projects? For instance, during the DesignerUp course, you'll be working on all sides and all layers of an entire product, so you'll fully understand the whole cycle. Most courses assign you design challenges, and often the same ones are assigned to everyone in the course, so you end up with a portfolio that looks like everyone else's. The bottom line is, whatever program you choose, it should match your learning style, your lifestyle, and be personalized for you to successfully complete it and land a job. So, what exactly should your portfolio look like? If you want to stand out, you need to find your niche, brand yourself, and communicate your skills and your worth effectively in order to attract the work that you want. This is by far what will separate you from hundreds of other UI UX designers that are applying for the same jobs. At DesignerUp, We have some tried and true tricks to this, and we show you how to create a portfolio quickly with our one-click system, so you know exactly what needs to be in it, how it should be presented, and how to craft your case studies for maximum magnetism. Click the link to check out our other YouTube video about this. How much experience do you really need? You may have case studies in your portfolio based on assignments you've done for school projects or projects you've come up with or designed on your own. But some companies still expect that you already have been hired by a company at some point and have worked as a UX designer for a minimum of 3 years. It's the classic chicken and egg dilemma. How do you get hired if you need to have experience? And how do you get experience if you can't get hired? This requirement is usually set in place because companies are facing real problems that can't be solved in a vacuum. They want to know that you're qualified with the right skill set to handle the responsibility. But if you can express and illustrate intimate knowledge of your domain, even work experience is negotiable. At DesignerUp, we teach you how to position yourself to land a job without ever having worked before. And you can watch our other YouTube video to see more about how we do that. And we show you clever ways to gain the required experience if you're trying to go after your dream role that requires working experience. And I'll link to another one of our YouTube videos in the description. At DesignerUp, we practice what we call mindful design and interaction. Our program emphasizes not only the hard skills of UI and UX design, but also the soft skills of awareness, empathy, communication, and emotional intelligence to encourage students to consciously design patterns and features that contribute to more sustainable, inclusive, and intentionally made digital products. With data breaches, privacy concerns at places like Facebook, harassment at Uber, and other places throughout tech, this is more important to focus on now than ever to prevent against doing harm and to make decisions that honor the responsibility we have to our users. I've come to work with an amazingly diverse group of students, and one of my students very much liked to breeze through the research phase, working mostly from assumptions and jumping right into designs. As I reviewed his work during our mentorship, I realized that the core reason he was doing this is because he was nervous about talking to users because of his speech impediment. What he didn't realize was how valuable his stutter was, or the opportunity that it brings to this profession. Every single person is different, and every single person will use your product differently. And when all of our apps and websites are created by the same demographic of people, they don't accurately represent us. After bringing awareness to this, my student realized his potential and went on to pursue creating apps to help voice recognition work better for people with speech impairment. This mentality that the UX profession is reserved for ableists or the highly educated, or are from a certain background, country, or experience level, just isn't true at all, or indicative of the reality of the design industry. In fact, it's quite the opposite. What we need now more than ever are diverse designers with different points of view creating digital products. This is the main intention that I have for the program at DesignerUp, to help designers understand this and cultivate this attitude towards design. So, in short, don't concern yourself with generalized questions. Know who you want to work for and what you want to work on. Choose a personalized program. Create a portfolio that communicates your worth. Don't stress too much about experience. And decide on the type of designer that you want to be. The DesignerUp course is a great way to do all of this in a very structured form with one-on-one mentorship, quizzes, worksheets, and resources to help you do real-world work and create an amazing portfolio. You'll also receive a certificate of completion from us in product design and a certified LinkedIn badge that you can post to your profile so employers can see it and verify with us. So if you're interested in diving deeper into the world of product and UI UX design, come check us out at designerup.co. link in the description.
Well, I hope this video has left you with more answers than questions. And if not, please leave your questions in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them. If you are at the beginning of your design career journey or looking to progress in your skill set, you could probably use some help along the way, and that's what DesignerUp is here for. Come check out our website for more free content, webinars, articles, and lessons. Links are in the description. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe and show us some love by liking this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.